Nick, it's great to sit down with you and talk about one of our favorite topics, digital asset management. You use the term renaissance when describing what DAM is going through right now. I'd like to understand that a bit more.
We're seeing DAM emerge from and sort of shed this legacy of being cloud storage. It's becoming much more than that. It's becoming really, its central component is about the storage and organization of content, but it's beginning to touch areas in the upstream creative process, as well as the downstream delivery technologies. There's really three things that are driving this DAM renaissance and really the DAM expansion beyond that sort of centralized storage and management. The one thing is scale. So a lot of organizations are grappling with this idea of creating more content with potentially fewer resources. So they're looking to scale their content creation, reuse their content to power multiple campaigns across multiple channels. What we really see happening there is the omnichannel. Mm-hmm. So when I talk about omnichannel delivery, it's not just content going to websites anymore. It's content going to mobile and TVs and wearables and voice assistants and all of those things, connected cars. So that's really the omnichannel. And then the last thing is personalization. When we talk about personalized experiences, we're talking about content that's relevant to you and content that provides value. So there needs to be value and relevance in order for there to be personalization. So with the personalization piece, one of the things that we're seeing is taking content, breaking it down into its smallest pieces or atomization, and then recombining that content so that we can get more of a personalized experience for it.
When you think about going all the way back into that creative process, and then how we at the other end of all of that, can execute into all of these different channels. You're saying that DAM really can help facilitate that. DAM can play a role in bringing some of those parts of the organization and processes together.
One of the core tenets of being customer obsessed is moving from being siloed to connected. And DAM can act as that sort of connective tissue across the organization. DAM as the hub, Spoke being web CMS, Spoke being mobile, TV, connected cars, wearables, voice assistants, all of those things are super important to serving as that model of moving from being siloed to connected.
I'd like you to take a minute to talk to me about the role that you see AI and machine learning playing in all of this, in enabling, what amounts to, DAM becoming this engine.
So artificial intelligence, machine learning is playing a huge role in digital asset management, particularly in the upstream creative process and the centralized storage and delivery. And starting with centralized storage and delivery, AI applied to a large library of content helps surface things that we as humans might not necessarily think of in terms of tagging content, surfacing metadata. So what AI can do is it can start to surface some of those insights around object detection, scene detection, facial recognition. It can, determine are there things in here that align with our brand or don't align with our brand.
Nick, another area I'd like to discuss with you is how DAM plays a role in managing the emerging and in some cases, the proliferation of new content types.
We know from our research that video is among some of the most engaging content out there. So it's no surprise that the DAM has started to see more and more video content come into it. Historically, DAM is focused on sort of static media, so images, photographs, starting to expand into video, starting to expand into 360-degree video or virtual and augmented reality, even documents and text as we sort of focus on content fragments and atomization. As content creation teams are creating content, all across the country or all around the world, they want the DAM to support them through that process of creating the content, reviewing the content, and then getting the content to market.
Yeah.
So that's where DAM comes in. It helps manage the workflow. It helps manage who's done what, when to all of this content. And it really helps companies get a handle on this content explosion
Yeah.
in their organization.
What's the number one way you would sell DAM internally if you were having to be the champion of this new way of doing things?
I think really you've got to find someone inside of the organization with high enough visibility who is able to influence that change. Otherwise, what happens is we see DAM deployed as kind of more islands inside of the organization than sort of one large continent. And you've got to understand the real business impact of having a DAM. And it's usually around some things around efficiency. So one organization that we spoke with, it took them 90 minutes to find an individual asset. Once they put a DAM in place, that went to sub 60 seconds.
Now, you have to finish the story for me. What comes next? What comes after the Renaissance?
We're moving away from folders. We're powered by search. And what it means is we're going to be able to get to the right asset, the right piece of content, not just for people who are inside of the organization creating the content, but for those people who are consuming the content as well. So it's the age of discovery.